Hello and good day. My name is Jim Biggins. I'm with the Connoisseur Media Group in the Great Lakes Bay region, which includes WSGW, AM and FM, KISS 107, WTLZ, 106.3 The Core, and 94.5 The Moose. And I'm joined by James Canders, the airport director at MBS International Airport, trying to get titles correct. Chris Sabourin is with the Grit Your Grief, the Children's Grief Center. And Chris, maybe you better clear me up on exact titles so I don't get it wrong like I got James wrong like 3 times before we start.
That's perfectly fine. I'm the executive director.
Okay, executive director. Very good. All right, so the reason we're back together again, and it's great to see you guys again, the Grit Your Grief 5K Run Walk that's going to take place in MBS Airport is coming up again. I'm getting excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. And for anybody who has never been part of this, first of all, James, maybe you can explain what's going to go on at the airport itself.
Well, we've been doing this for several years now with the Children's Grief Center, and excited to continue the partnership. So what happens is once Chris and his crew come in, they get everything set up. We open up one of the gates located where the old terminal used to be, if you've been in Saginaw for any length of time. And they'll go in through there, and we close down portions of the taxiways and one of the runways to allow several hundred people to go out and run or walk all over these paved surfaces. It's a unique opportunity for individuals to see a part of the airport they don't normally see.
It's a perspective of the airport that normally you would get arrested for.
Right.
But for one day only, it's a very special event. Chris, maybe you can explain the Children's Grief Center.
Yeah.
Some folks may not be, the name kind of explains what it's about, but can you kind of tell us, what you do and what's most important about supporting the Children's Grief Center?
Absolutely. So the Children's Grief Center, we're a regional agency. We serve kids ages 4 to 18 and their caregivers that are grieving the death of someone significant in their life. We do that in 2 major ways. First of all, we hold evening peer support programs for kids and their caregivers in Midland Bay and Saginaw counties. And for that program, we actually have people who drive quite a distance to come to one of those 3 sites. We have families from Flint, we have families from Gladwin, we have families that come from Harbor Beach, and even Mount Pleasant. So just to draw a big circle around that evening footprint. We also go out to schools as well, and our school footprint has grown dramatically over the last couple of years. When I first came on board about 4 years ago, we had about 15 schools. This year, our school grief support specialist, Lexi, has been to has run about 55 programs in 45 school buildings across the Great Lakes Bay region and beyond, about that same footprint that I shared before.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's really important that the signature fundraiser is really important to us because at this time we don't charge for any of our services. We don't charge the schools. We don't charge the families. We work really hard not to compound the emotions that grief brings and some of the stress and so on. So the signature fundraiser helps us serve the families of the Great Lakes Bay region, the kids and the families.
And any adult has dealt with grief, and it's extremely difficult as an adult, but for kids too, they don't have the same toolkit that adults do.
Right. And and a lot of times too, what the magic really happens, and I use the word magic a lot, and I don't mean it lightly at all, but my previous career was in teaching and education. When I saw a child understand a concept, the magic in their eyes lights up, right? Same here. But it happens when the kids realize that they're not alone. When they realize that they're in a group with other children that have experienced the death of someone significant, then they become themselves. They play hard, they get loud, they become a kid all over again. And that's what we're about. We're about creating that space so that those kids can realize that others have gone through it, and then they open up and they tell their stories. Because you're right, Jim, they don't have the same strategies or experiences that adults do. And so we bring the language of children, which really is play, into everything that we do. And they understand all of these things better through play. And that's a big part of both of our school and our evening program.
And as you mentioned, the breadth of the area that you're serving, we're very fortunate to have your organization right here in our backyard. Because for many people, I'm sure it's much more difficult to get that kind of help.
Yeah, and we've even gotten feedback from several of our caregivers and families that trying to find specific grief support is very difficult. And so thankfully they've shared our services. Word of mouth has helped us grow, but we're also trying to close that gap too, because we understand that grief isn't very well known out in the mental health world right now.
Gotcha. Well, let's get a whole bunch of people out on the runways and see
That'd
what
be
we
great.
can to get some money in the coffers so that you guys can carry on and maybe even expand your services. So let's talk about the day of event. What do we got going on? James, you want to start on that, or Chris?
I think probably Chris can start. I know we're starting at what, 10 a.m., Chris, I think?
Yeah, actually a little bit earlier than that. I'm going to be there before the sunrise is starting to set up. So just, probably watch that first airline carrier take off at what, 5:45 or something like that. Yeah, but at any rate, so 8 o'clock is when we're going to open up for day of registration. And so we have, we're at about 387 participants right now. They can come and start registering at 8 o'clock. But if you decide the day of you want to come and join us, please do. You can sign up right then and there. We'll take good care of you. So our kids zone will be open and available. We also have a pancake breakfast happening at this time. So there's plenty of things to do. But you're right, Jim. The run walk portion on the runways begins at 10 a.m.
Okay.
We'll have some announcements prior to that, and then we'll let you go out on the course. And then we have a family color run that's starting at 11:30. And I like to make sure everybody knows that family color run is not in the secure space on the taxiways and the runways. That is in just a real close location out in the grassy space. But that's always been a lot of fun because we create what we consider a large oval, and you just run around that as many times as you want and get all the color on you that you can.
We probably don't want a lot of random colors showing up on runways. I'm thinking James is like, no, let's not do that. Yeah. We don't want to confuse any pilots on the way in.
That's right. And in addition to that, we have, like I mentioned, there's a kids zone. So there's crafts, there are activities. We're going to have Tittabawassee Township first responders there. We have bounce houses. And we've just tried really, really hard to create a family-friendly environment. And if you're not interested in running or walking, show up anyway. For a fee of $10, we issue out spectator passes, and that gets you into the kids zone and so on. And you can just come and have fun. Because it is a fundraiser, our pancake breakfast is a $10 ticket as well, but it is all you can eat pancakes. And the whole idea behind that is we're trying to get pilots to fly in, because fly-in pancake events are pretty popular. I should probably let James expand on that. But that idea came from James and his team a couple years ago. And so we're banking on good weather and get as many hobby pilots in as possible for that fly-in pancake event.
James, what is it about pancakes and pilots? I didn't know about this.
Well, it's a long-standing tradition among pilot circles. The official term is the $100 hamburger, where you fly somewhere for a meal. And so over 30 years in the industry, I've seen all sorts of airports. I've participated many times. So it's great for pilots to come in. They can come in, land, see an event, maybe participate, get some food, and then fly back out again. It's just something they enjoy doing.
And anybody who doesn't happen to have a plane, for you, it's only $10. So
yeah, plenty of parking out there.
Yeah.
The old terminal area, they still have the parking lot, which we've been trying to keep maintained and cleaned up. And so people can come out and park and see the show.
I like the idea of the spectator pass too, because I'm sure among families, maybe mom and the kids are going to want to be in the play area. Maybe dad or mom, one of the two is running the 5K and one is sitting it out. So that's a perfect opportunity. Plus, nobody wants to cross the finish line without somebody to cheer for them, right?
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think we should also mention too, when James sets this up for us, with the FAA, one of the runways is still active. So those hobby pilots that are flying in, or the major carriers or so on, it's really, really neat to be out on the course running or walking and have the traffic come in and out. That's also a very unique experience.
Oh, that's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah, they're only a few hundred feet away from the spectators landing.
Yeah.
I think our first year out doing this out here, we had actually an airplane fly over the runway, which they weren't supposed to do, but yeah, we let them do it, and so it was safe, more than safe. I'll throw that out there. There's all sorts of safety considerations. We go through. We submit to the FAA months in advance of this event, and we also submit to the TSA to make sure that they both agencies sign off on what we're doing.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Chris,
also,
you mentioned, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we make sure everybody has the appropriate wristbands as well.
Yeah.
We have volunteers out on the race course and so on. So it's a very safe event.
You did mention you can sign up day of, but I know there's an option to sign up right now if you want to. How does that work?
So the easiest way to do that is go to our website, childrensgriefglbr.org, and there's a link on the top of the page. It'll take you right to where you can sign up for the race. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Jim, because on May 9th, the rates go up by $10. So right now it's $35 for the run walk. It does go up to $45 just because we'd like to get as many numbers ahead of time as possible. Sure. So if you can register ahead, great. If not, you're still absolutely welcome to come and register day of.
Is there a T-shirt this year tied to the race?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got sponsors on the back of the T-shirt. We've got we've got our logo. You see the logo up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen there. That is the logo that's on the T-shirt.
Okay. And as always, I recommend getting signed up as soon as you can, because I know sometimes, if there's a crazy rush day of, nobody, you can't order T-shirts the day of.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah. And our T-shirt deadline has actually passed. And so we try and order a little bit extra just to see. But, it's interesting. If this is my fourth race, and I've learned that some people, a majority of the people, like the T-shirt, and some have said, "I've got too many T-shirts at home. I'm good with that one." So, but if we have extras, we are happy to give what we have left to those who register on site day of.
Outstanding. You mentioned something about volunteers too. Are you set that way, or are you still looking for some volunteer help for the day?
Yeah, still looking. We can still use volunteers. And if you go to that same website, it will take you to our Everything Race website. It's put on by a company called Run Sign Up. And we're actually scheduling our volunteers through that website this year, and it's been working out great. So if people want to come check it out and help us out in a volunteer capacity, we need people on the runway course. We need people to spray color. We need setup. We need tear down. I mean, all the general things you would expect that would come with an event.
Anybody to do stuff like this with like orange wands, or James, is that your category?
We have a lot of airport staff that come in on the Saturday, and we have a lot of big airport equipment out there, kind of barricading some of the people in. Like, don't go beyond that huge snow plow, just to make sure everybody stays contained. And our staff is always going around making sure people are leading the right ways. So it's in addition to seeing, the pavement, you'll see some of our aircraft equipment up, kind of close.
I'll bet the kids love that. I mean,
like that.
Anytime they get a chance to see construction, fire trucks, they're going to see some things that have never shown up in their high school or grade school parking lot. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to, big shout out to James and his staff. He beat me to it, but the airport has always been very welcoming, and the entire staff has always, bought into this activity. And I'm very grateful for that. All of us at the Grief Center are very grateful for that.
And we're always
let's put the invitation out. The Grit Your Grief 5K run/walk, whatever you prefer, at MBS International Airport is going to happen again. We're hoping for an absolutely beautiful day. Like Chris, you said, we've got several hundred people already signed up.
Already, just shy of 400 so far. Yep.
Awesome. Well, let's keep running those numbers up. It's going to be Saturday, May 16th. Again, what time does the sign up day of start, or the check-in start?
8 a.m. But if you want to come early, pancakes are starting at 7:30 a.m. So you could come, you can eat first, and then start in the registration line.
Well, that'll give you enough time in between the two to pancake, rest, run.
There you go.
Highly recommend you put a little time in between the two. What's the virtual 5K? I saw something about that on the website.
Yeah, so that was actually started during COVID. When people wanted to just be in their own space. And so what that is that it's still the same price, but if you're a virtual runner, you create your own race course. You do it whenever you want within those time frames, and we will get you the medal, we'll get you the shirt, we'll get you all the swag. You just it's really an opportunity for those that may not be able to make the live race on that day, but still want to participate and support the Grief Center.
You should also include a make your own pancake segment for those folks as well.
Clever. Yes. We could
back up on the virtual pancakes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
There's nothing you can't do with Chat GPT these days. I'm just build your own runway, whatever. It's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All
great.
right. The Children's Grief Center, Chris, we are so sold on what you do. We're so fortunate that you are in our neighborhood to serve the kids who have to deal with the most awful circumstances. And, it's even parents don't always know what to do to help their own kids. So the Grief Center is a very valuable community asset, and supporting you guys is so important. James, I know you're doing your part. You've got a million things going on at the airport, but you still find the time and the staffing and whatever you need to get this done. So, thank you so much for that. Chris, you'll be there before crack of dawn. Leave the rest of us a couple pancakes, please.
No problem.
But let's get everybody signed up. Again, what's the best way to do that?
Children's Grief, glbr.org. If you have questions, give us a call, 989-495-9335.
Thank you so much. All right, gentlemen, have a great day, and we'll see everybody May 16th, MBS International Airport.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.